Here we are back with the blown up BSA A65 engine, and I've got the crankcases split now, obviously, and that'll give us a chance to have a better look at all the damage that occurred. And there's the drive side case viewed from the inside. A hell of a mess that is. And the timing side case, as I suspected, there's a hole punched through into the gearbox there. The gearbox or components of it may well have survived intact. We might have to open that up and have a look and see whether we're going to use them or the internals from the other engine when it comes time to put everything back together. I had rather hoped that the camshaft might have survived, but yeah, unfortunately not. That's very bent. I'm surprised I was able to turn the crank at all when the timing gear train was still all in situ. But anyway, we won't be using that, and it's a shame because it's in quite good condition actually. I think the followers have probably survived in the cylinder barrels. The timing side bush hasn't taken a hit. I fitted that one new when I rebuilt the engine. Actually, it was mid 2019 when I rebuilt this engine, so we're sort of knocking on the door of 4 years, I suppose. The main bearing, all that lot seems to be okay, but this is where there'll be choices and decisions and things to be taken and made. And that, incidentally, that's the crankshaft out of the donor engine that the owner sent me, which is in bits in the boxes down there in a filthy condition. I'll have to clean the crankcases up, but at least they're not broken, so hopefully we'll be using those. And over in the lathe we've got the crankshaft from the blown up engine, and just to give me a rough idea, this is nothing too sort of involved or intricate, but I've set it up and chucked there. The lathe is out of gear and I can turn the crank gripped by the drive side main shaft. I got perhaps a couple of thou run out showing there, which is not alarming. That's good enough to tell me that the crank hasn't been bent in the process of the blow up. Hopefully it won't be cracked, and I can probably get a rough idea, perhaps just by using one of these lathe tools and just what you don't want is a dull tone. Obviously this one's playing a different note to that one because it's close to the chuck of the lathe which is holding it. But what I'll probably do is get hold of it by the edges of the flywheel in the vise and just tap on the webs and make sure that they make a similar noise, but they sound like they're probably alright to me. Big ends, they will have survived, and I suppose if I'm going to use this crank I'll check the sludge trap again, but I did that. I attended to that one last time I rebuilt the engine, which apparently is around 3,000 miles ago. So on the face of it, it looks like we've got a crankshaft that survived. We're certainly going to need replacement con rods. I'm not putting that one back in even, and I won't be using the one that came out in fair condition out the other engine. I would recommend, at the very least, we're going to fit new con rods to this. We'll have new pistons, of course, and hopefully the set of cylinder barrels from the donor engine might be usable, or usable after a rebore or whatever. The cylinder head we've seen is okay. So yeah, it's a sort of mixed bag. I mean, it's not great news seeing this, but there's light at the end of the tunnel if the crankshaft has survived okay, which at this stage it appears to have done. There's some more of the debris that I got out. That is what I saw when I still had the engine bottom end on top of the crate and I was discussing seeing something with some threads on it and a nut. That is it. It's the stud from there actually and the conrod has actually karate chopped through that and sheared it right off on its way into the gearbox. So it must have been a hell of a wallop. It's certainly a dead stop, that's for sure. But I'm going to have a look at all the bits and pieces that I think I might need and might be able to salvage from the other engine, the donor one, and my money is on the donor crankcases, probably with that crankshaft there that we got in the lathe that appears at this stage to have come out the blow up unscathed. So that's where we're at the moment. Lots of sorting out and cleaning up and checking components to do next, and probably discussions with the owner too, I'd imagine.